Honestly, same.
Ooh, honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly,
Honestly,
same.
same.
Honestly,
Honestly, same.
same. Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
Honestly, same.
It's going.
Flip.
We're live, pal.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
We are live.
And we're here to play another game of We're Not Really Strangers. But
Because we're not really strangers.
we're not. But first, we're
And it's
strangers
fun.
to you, possibly. So my name is Brittany.
My name is Ross.
And my name is Leah.
So yeah, we're going to play another game of We're Not Really Strangers because honestly, this is just really fun.
It is.
And this is our show and we can do whatever we want.
Exactly.
And the show is honestly same. I don't know if we said that yet.
That is true.
And
are
You clicked
listening.
on it,
Same.
so you
I
should
would hope
probably know.
you know what you're listening to. You
Otherwise,
didn't,
what are you doing here?
That was very
Yeah.
Welcome.
What are
though.
you
yeah.
doing?
That was very presumptuous of me to think that somebody just happened upon us. But
Hey, you know why you're here,
Hey,
don't you?
Hey, look at me.
Look at-
Sorry,
look
I'm
at
so
Brittany.
sorry. Don't look at
In
me.
the edit, I'm zooming in on her
Don't
face.
look at me.
Look at Brittany. Look at Brittany. Well, hey, I do want you to look at Brittany because she's going to pull the first card
All right.
for
No
our first topic
pressure.
of this episode.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What part of my personality is not showcased online?
ooh,
This is fun.
I think how funny and bubbly you are.
I agree. I'm not as funny as I should be online.
I think online you're kind of like this ethereal being where it's like you have this very kind of like sunshine like glow about you, which I feel like embodies your personality, but I don't see a lot of like words by you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's a lot of like more just your vibe that I catch on the internet. But yeah, I feel like you're so funny and
Shit. Sorry, everybody.
Hilarious. Look at that. Hey.
not planned. Not planned.
At this episode, I'm going to talk into the microphone for you guys.
Yes.
So you will be able to hear her this episode.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, okay. And oh, wait, are we doing it for each
Yeah.
person?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
only compliments for me this round. Okay. Ross?
Me?
Yeah.
So wait,
Okay.
what was it again?
What
I
part
wanna-
of my personality isn't showcased online?
Okay.
So
So
we're-
for Ross.
for
I'm
Ross.
gonna say the part of your personality that isn't really showcased online is like the more like sensitive side of you, and that's where this
Yeah.
podcast comes into play because a lot of what you present on the internet is like your professional side.
That's fair.
I think that you are an open book on the internet,
I do
and there
try.
is not a lot left to like
To showcase.
that's what it looks like. I think that like if I were to just follow you, I'd be like, I know Ross. Ross is such a cool guy. We're friends, whatever. Even if I had never met you, but knowing you in person, I would say that something that's not showcased online would be, I think, similar to what Leah's saying, but like you're way better friend. I don't think that you look like you'd be a bad friend online, but like you are very business oriented and like what's the next thing, but you do know how to slow down and enjoy like your friendships and everything. Because
Yeah.
it does look like you're go doing all of these crazy things.
Totally. Yeah. That
But
makes sense.
you do have like a slower living side to you as well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That totally makes sense.
All right, Leah's turn.
What part of my personality isn't showcased online? Probably most of it.
I think that it's very we talked about it in another episode that you have
A
a
mystique.
look. You have a look.
A
A
look.
very, very cool girl look. And you are a cool girl, but you're have you watched Wednesday?
I have not watched Wednesday yet. Everybody tells me that I should. And Sabrina. They're like very kind of like
Yeah.
spooky girl like shows, and I have definitely failed at
Well,
like,
what I love
watching those so
you
far.
haven't watched Wednesday.
I watched half of Wednesday.
Okay, so she's got Enid's personality with like Wednesday's looks.
Oh.
She's like the sunshine and rainbows
Yep.
girl, right? Okay, yeah. No,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
I think that's like kind of where I live. I think within every girl there's like this like unicorn and then this like dark horse. And
Yeah.
I think that usually people fall somewhere in between as far as the extremes of like which part of them like shows like
Yeah, I
on
love
the
that.
outside. A lot of people probably fall in the middle, but I think like my dark side is definitely the part where I'm like putting it out there more because aesthetically it's more pleasing to me. But I think like when people meet me and get to know me, they're like, wow, you're the weirdest person I've ever met.
You're so bubbly. You're so bubbly. You're so sweet.
Yeah. There was
Thanks, guys.
There was a few people that when you were on Who's Life, they were like, I didn't know Leah was like that funny and wild, and like, and I'm like, oh,
I'm
yeah,
always
that
like,
makes
I'm
sense.
funny, right, guys? But I don't ever actually think that I'm that funny.
Yeah, no, you're hilarious.
You're a hoot.
Highest compliment. I want to be funny.
I
All
know.
right.
I want to be.
More
I
than-
want everyone to
more
tell
than
me
I
I'm
want to
funny
be
all the
cool.
time.
Please tell me that I'm hilarious.
And you can watch her be hilarious on another podcast I do called Whose Life Is it anyway?
Is it anyway?
You can watch me struggle to count on whose life is it anyway. There's so many counting games or like knowing the alphabet. You know it backwards. You'd be good at that.
Should I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it for the people.
I'm going to mess it up. CYXWVUT
Dude, how?
I'm not even sure that's right, to be completely honest.
No, that's right, because
If
I
you
think
missed
I used to
anything.
know it, and I like have not kept practice.
I'll tell you
but-
why I learned it.
Yeah, why?
When my little brother Chance, he's 21 now, so he was like a baby. I was probably like, I don't know, 10. There was a Disney or Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network commercial where they did it backwards, and he learned it. And my stepmom and my dad were like, he's the smartest baby alive. And I was like, well, I can do that.
Yeah.
So then I just took like a day where I was like, I will be learning the alphabet backwards.
Damn.
And
That's
it never
like
left
when,
me.
when I learned all the words to Wild Wild West by Will Smith.
It's exactly like
I was
that.
like, I need this in my
Yes.
life so that I can use it as like a showcase item
That was
in
me
the future.
The Andy Milonakis show theme song.
Oh, yeah. See, we all have our
my
things.
gosh.
Do you want to go ahead and sing it?
Oh no.
I thought you were about to start.
Okay, Wild Wild West.
Oh, that's a very long song, but.
Well, you start that while I.
While he thinks
Wicka,
about.
wicka. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do it.
Oh,
It's a
no,
very long
now
song.
now I'm gonna not be able
This
to do
podcast
anything
is
until
being-
I.
Until you sing it.
That's
This podcast
later.
is
That's later in the
sponsored
song.
by Will Smith.
I love that. No smacking anybody.
You know what?
No,
No.
violence on
I
our
can-
No
podcast.
violence.
I can only remember like the last half of it now. I guess
Oh.
Well,
You know what that
when you
means?
go home today,
that means I'm less worried about impressing people.
and
There you
clearly
go.
I am not less worried about
And if I
impressing
could-
people
If I could go back in time,
Brittany is the same amount of worried about impressing
As I was when
people
I was
she
7.
was when
well,
she
if you
was
could go back
a small child.
when you were younger and tell yourself, "Hey, you don't have to worry about impressing people,"
Mm-hmm.
I would do that. Just like I would also give my younger self this dating advice. So the question is, what dating advice would you give your younger self? Absolutely, I would tell myself, yeah, you have to learn how to love yourself first. That's mine. That's my go-to. I would put so much ammunition into
pouring
oh my God.
into yourself first.
Yeah. I would just put all the weight into, oh my God, am I in a relationship? Does this girl like me? Oh my gosh. Then I'm cool. Then I'm whatever. Rather than being like, are you fine?
just like
Yeah.
okay?
Do you like yourself? In
Are
your
you
life?
okay?
Are you okay? Yeah, I feel like I would go back and be like, dude, stop being so concerned over whether a girl likes you or what she's doing or whatever. Be concerned about like just being a better you.
That's
Just do
good.
that.
That's good
Yeah.
advice for people in general because I think that like everybody can afford to love themselves a little bit more. What about you, Brittany? No, you
Oh.
go next. I have to think.
Okay. Dating advice I'd give my younger self, just you don't have to settle even for like a minute. There are so many like relationships or like flings I got into that like I look back and I have no clue what I was thinking. So I think that if I would have just been a little bit more intentional in my pickings and not settled, because I went into every relationship thinking that it was like the end all be all, as we do. That's like what the point of relationships are. And I would just stick out situations I did not want to be in.
Yeah.
So just being more like intentional and not losing yourself
Okay.
in the relationship.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think mine would be almost like anti-dating advice. Like I feel like I would go back and tell myself it's okay to be alone and to like
Yeah.
learn yourself a
That
little
is-
bit. Because in previous episodes we actually talked about the fact that like I've never been like alone. Like once
And
I
I
got
haven't
into a
either.
relationship, yeah, I just was like, all right, on to the next thing because it makes me feel good about myself to be with somebody that also helps me fill up my cup. And I think that I would want to tell myself sort of similar to what Ross said, like learn to fill up your own la 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 la.
That is what Ross said.
That's exactly what Ross said.
Learn to fill up your own la 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 la.
Yep, we can flash
We're gonna
back.
put it on a shirt.
Learn to fill up your pa la 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 la.
Learn to fill up your own cup a little bit and learn to love yourself first because I also jumped into some things that I was like looking back now, I was like, I don't even remember how that started
Like,
or
why was I in that?
Yeah, and in situations where they did not serve me. And so I think I would just be able to go back and say like, hey, like be alone for a little bit because it will teach you something about yourself that you need to know.
Yeah,
I love that.
100%. I'm also now just picturing a scenario where
Are these the
future Leah shows up in a portal to young Leah and she just goes, hey, fill up your pa la 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 la.
She's like,
Young
hey, quick,
Leah's-
I only have 1 minute. You need to fill up your la 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 la, and just
Young
disappears.
Leah's like, what the hell is happening?
she's like, I guess I have to be really into Christmas. I don't know. And suddenly, like, I pop back into present time, and I'm not like goth anymore,
No,
and I'm
you're, like,
suddenly like the Christmas
red and
like
green.
queen of Christmas
That's
instead
so
of the queen of
hilarious.
Halloween.
Queen of Christmas.
All right, this one is it says, what is a negotiable? I can't talk today, you guys. A non-negotiable in your life. My round brush hair dryer.
I love that answer.
Immediate.
No, I feel like that's obviously, like, as far as like physical stuff goes. No, I feel like non-negotiable in my life is, at least now as an adult, I feel like making time for myself, even if it means that like I'm saying no to other people.
Yes.
I'm like really bad
Yeah.
at saying no to people because I don't want to hurt people's feelings or let people down. And I think that like I have learned to be like, you know what, I need a day where I can like sit at home in my jammies. And I think that that's like very non-negotiable for me now as like a grown human being.
Yeah.
I like
Who
that.
wants to go next?
I want to know your material thing too, because she came out with that. She was like, absolutely, my hairdryer. What do you mean?
Mine's I need to be within at least 10 miles of a Chipotle.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a no-brainer for you. That's so true. I cannot believe you haven't gotten tired of it yet.
Yeah, no.
Do you go in waves?
I
You're
need
just
to
like-
be-
What is your order from Chipotle when you
I
go
changed
there?
up. I changed up.
Oh, really?
That's good.
So
That's
you
good to
don't
hear.
have like a go. You don't have like a. I feel like most people probably have a go-to.
I
I
have
do.
my go-to, but I changed the meat.
Okay.
I changed the protein.
Very nice.
Yeah, I change it up. Listen, I go all the time, but I get different things.
Sometimes I get a Sprite. Sometimes I get a Powerade.
Yeah, I suppose materialistic. Give me a Chipotle, and I'm fine.
All
As long
right.
as there's one within driving distance.
I like that.
Reasonable driving distance, I can survive. My in general life thing, communication. I feel like clear and honest communication has sort of become non-negotiable because I just don't feel like whether it's business, creative, friendship, relationship, romantics, like whatever, I just don't think it's that hard to be super honest. I just
No,
really
I
don't.
think you're right.
I really don't.
That
and
is
like,
so important.
I've just sort of the idea that like, oh, I need to beat around the bush with this person, or I can't tell them exactly how I feel.
I
or,
want that. I don't. I want that. I want that from other people. I have a hard time being honest, but because I don't want to hurt their feelings, not because I'm doing something wrong or anything.
Yeah,
It's so much
I-
more work though to have to backtrack and
I
like
agree. I wish I wasn't that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
and
can't carry the weight. Of
sometimes white lies are important, like if it does come down to like something that's going to affect somebody's feelings, and if it's not important enough of a thing where if somebody's like, do I look bad, you know, something like that, you don't want to tell somebody that they
Oh,
look
yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
if it's gonna like benefit them in some way to tell them, like if they're like, hey, is there something in my teeth, and they're about to be on camera, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you gotta like do something about that, you know, that's different. If it's going to
100%.
affect them in a way where you're like, hey, this is something that you should work on because it's going to benefit you in the long like run and grand scheme of things, that's
Yeah.
like, you know. But if it's a white lie, like somebody is just like, am I being too whatever, and you know
But
that they
I
deserve
want
to
to be honest. I want to be honest in those ways. Like I want to communicate with people when they're like,
See,
Yeah.
I think in that situation, like the white lies thing, I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not that concerned about like always being like the truthful guy. But on that line of like, if somebody was like, hey, like if they're looking for advice of like, am I being
Yes.
to this or to that? I'm gonna be like, hey, honestly, my real opinion, it's this.
Yeah.
But it's never from a place of like, I'm right and somebody needs to know my opinion. It's like, it's none of that. It's always just
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm gonna just communicate with you, because I also know there's been
course.
moments in my life where I haven't received that, and it would have been helpful
Yeah.
had someone just gave me a little bit of honesty.
Yeah.
I think it
of, like-
depends on the situation though, because I can't tell you, like if I ask somebody, because in my brain I'm always like, am I talking too much? There are people that'll probably, if I'm like on a subject or I'm trying to like clarify something, that would probably like be like, yeah, your shit, you just like are like keep going. But like there are parts of me also that if somebody asked me that, I'd be like, you need to get there. You need to get to your point. So like, no, you're not talking like,
Yeah.
you, like
well, see,
I need
guess
you to
that's-
feel like you've accomplished what you like set out to start doing.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I mean?
how I would, unless it's like something very specifically that's like being filmed, and I'm like, hey, we can wrap this up way sooner. In general, I am like, I don't care how long someone talks at all. Like,
I know,
don't- yeah,
because
it's
here we
just-
are,
yeah,
right?
and that's
Ross
why we
was
made a
like, "Do you want to
podcast.
be with me on a podcast?" And I'm like, "Are you sure?"
he said,
Can they be 4 hours
do
long?
you want to follow? Sorry.
Do you want to follow? Yeah, mine's communication of any form. I feel like that's just.
I love that.
I just don't think it's that hard to be.
It's not.
honest.
It's
just-
really not.
It's just not, and it doesn't have to always like. Even when you're talking about something that's difficult or slightly
Sorry,
negative, and Brittany is cheering up.
Really emotional.
Yeah, let's really get to the bottom of this, P.
I love lying, though. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, I just don't think it's, even when it's something difficult, I'm just like, let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
I would say mine is the same as Leah's, where I just have to make sure I make time for myself, because if I don't, it's in the same realm of I am a people pleaser. I do not like to hurt anyone's feelings ever.
Same.
About anything. There are times.
We're going to have an episode about that.
Yeah.
Or maybe we already had an episode about that.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
I'm really hungry.
I'm hungry too. It sounds like
You're starving me.
we're being forced to make this show. Like, well,
And we've been in here for 10 days.
we're ever allowed to do it. I'm really hungry.
I just want to shower and eat.
Hey, there's a shower here.
Yeah, in one of those spooky
And
bathrooms.
I offered you guys a Cliff Bar. I'm the one running this. I'm like, we have to keep going.
Okay, yes. What was I saying? I love to lie and I'm really hungry.
Non-negotiable.
Time for myself. Time for
People
myself.
pleasing.
Yeah, because I hate ever making anyone feel like they're wrong about anything. I don't like to hit people in their ego, and not everyone has an ego that can be like easily knocked, but I just feel like Kermit the Frog.
Oh my gosh.
You're struggling to get through this answer.
It's not even that serious. I'm literally saying Leah already said it.
What is your material object that you
Oh,
can't
thank
live
you
without?
so much for asking that question. Do I know what it is?
It can't be people. It has to be a thing. So
Oh.
you can't say kids because that's a cop out.
Yeah. They're there whether I like it or not anyway. I would say material thing. You said Chipotle, you said your hair dryer. What do I need? I need cereal. We've talked about this in another episode. It's like my comfort thing. Like,
What's your go-to?
I love to have Frosted Flakes on hand. And then I usually, I don't know, we switch it up. Like, we are just a cereal family. You know when you're on your own for dinner? Like, everyone else is eating or whatever? Cereal.
I just don't
Yeah,
eat.
Ross is like, what does that even fucking mean?
That's why I get Chipotle.
Exactly.
When I'm on my
yeah,
own, I
Leah
can
just
just get
doesn't
Chipotle.
eat.
I just don't eat.
Yeah, you don't eat.
I
If nobody
just-
feeds me, I just don't eat.
That's a literal fact.
I just make a bowl of cereal. It's so easy.
That'll be like a go-to.
It's a depression thing.
Yeah.
It's just,
I'll just be like, you know what? I've waited
Sorry,
too long
everybody.
to get to this point, and now I'm too hungry to like function
it's
without.
now 11 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw some Frosted Flakes into this vessel.
Yeah,
For some
absolutely.
reason, I thought you were gonna say I'm gonna throw some Frosted Flakes in the microwave,
Throw them in the bowl, throw them in the microwave. 30 seconds.
put cheese on top.
Yeah.
No, actually, my favorite depression meal, cheese roll up in the
Oh.
microwave. You just put some shredded cheese on a tortilla. 20 seconds.
That's lunch
When
for
you
me.
pull it
I don't
out,
know.
everyone, listen. When you pull it out, the cheese is not going to be melted all the way yet, but just trust the process. Start rolling it up. It's going to melt with the heat. There's a science to
If
it.
you want
Send me pictures
more
of your cheesy roll-ups.
cooking tips, now we're gonna start a cooking show with Brittany.
Yeah, I microwave cereal and I eat flour
roll-ups.
tortillas with shredded cheese.
What more could you want?
What
I've
more
messed
could
up
you want?
Easy Mac and instant mashed potatoes.
That's fair.
When
Yeah. But I'll do a sandwich. I will make like a PB&J.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like my depression
Lot of
meals,
days.
quote unquote, is kind of anything. I just like eat when I'm like a comfort eater, you know? If
Yeah,
I'm like,
so am I.
oh, I'm bummed. Well, I'm just gonna eat literally anything.
that's why
Yeah.
I come to your house and I just eat all your cookies and stuff.
You
yeah.
do eat all my cookies, yes,
Yeah.
you do.
I
then
had
don't
like
have them
4.
either. That was all that was left. So
do we have
He
any
had a
M&Ms?
whole pack.
Ross, there's no fucking way that that bag of M&Ms is over there
Okay,
right
All
now.
right, guys.
We're just gonna talk about this right now.
Let's pull the curtain back real quick.
Because Ross is the kind of person that like he will start a regular sized bag of M&Ms.
Just a regular bag
Just
of
a regular,
M&Ms.
and it's been there since we started filming the first
1
episode
month
of
ago.
this podcast.
It's been over a month. It's the 12th.
Guys,
It's been a month and 5
that's
days.
a big bag of M&Ms.
No, it's not.
That
No,
is a
it's-
big. That's not a normal bag. That's big.
I would eat that in one sitting, regardless of what
can't.
size you consider that to be a
I
big
don't
bag.
like sweets that much.
Okay, but regardless, if are
You
they
finished
good
the bag,
anymore?
Ross.
Are they good anymore?
Yeah. Are they stale?
He goes.
Yeah, they
he
could
goes.
not
You
be
came
good
over and
anymore.
ate all my cookies. I had 4 of
Someone
them,
had to.
and they were probably
Daphne's like,
still in
"Thank
your
God."
cabinet. Yeah.
That's fair. You know what? You're right.
Do you have the same- do you have the same
Oh,
one?
no. Those are gone. I ate the rest of them probably like a day later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel better then.
Whose card is it? Yours?
Yeah.
B? Okay.
I hope
I'm
so,
like,
because
she's
I'm
just
going
reading
through them
them all.
right now.
She's just reading through
Okay.
them.
What was the worst date you've ever been on it and why?
I went on a date once that I didn't know was a date. Does that count?
Yeah.
I was supposed to hang out with this guy, and he said he had just gotten out of a relationship, and I thought we were just friends, and we were gonna go see this Sherlock Holmes movie. And I remember him saying something like, "It's so nice to just be able to hang out with like a friend, you know what?" And blah blah blah. Like specifically used those words, and I was like, "Cool." And we go to this movie, and he like put his arm around me, and I was like, "I must have because it's me." I was like, "I must have misread this like." Situation as a whole, and I was like, I guess I deserve this. I guess I
No.
deserve to be on this
No.
date. And so I let him have his arm around me for at least a little while, and then I think I like snuck off to the bathroom because I was uncomfortable, and I was like, how do I get away from this situation?
Yeah, you're like, I am going home.
So I went on a date that like was not supposed to be a date. but
That's
I'll never forget about a friend of mine who, like, we were in college, and she said she was, like, talking about some guy. She's like, no, I really like him. And her friend goes, he took you to Subway.
Damn it.
he took you to Subway. Ross was like,
Was that me?
and that was my best date.
And that was my favorite one was when we went to Subway.
Do you have one?
I haven't really been on a lot of dates, but there was a time
He's
I
just
was,
burning out those one-night stands.
oh my God. No.
Listen to the sexuality episode if you want some info.
That is also not true.
We love lying.
I
Yeah, you do
love lying. I
You
can't help it.
Stop
La la la
lying.
la la.
La 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 la.
You guys- oh my God. You guys are
Us
characters. are
saying,
getting
yeah, we
out
need to
of
wrap this up. This needs to be a
control.
short episode.
How long
Man.
has it been?
It's been an hour and a half.
It's been so good. Let's
So-
go. Keep going.
Um,
Tell us about your Subway date.
I went.
Sorry.
I got coffee with a girl. It wasn't really a date, but like it's the best thing I can classify for this answer. And she just didn't talk. And like, you know me, I'm like, let's talk and let's talk about everything. And oh my gosh, I want to get to know you. But I literally think she said like 5 words in the hour that we were there.
Oh, man. So you're like,
Were
all
you
right, well,
giving her the
here's-
floor and she was like,
Yes.
yes.
I
You're
was
like, here's a
trying
question for you. And
so-
she would just be like, here's my one-word
I
answer.
was trying so hard.
I
Just
have
like,
clients like that sometimes.
Yeah. So and it was just so awkward. I just felt weird. I was like, we're not connecting
Yeah.
whatsoever, and I don't know what to do here. And I'm trying to like be like, hey, please, yeah, talk. And she's like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Was it Brittany?
When Ross and I went on a date.
Yeah, when we went on a date,
I was-
like, she's about to grab the mic, pick it up, tell this story.
What is your problem?
Whoa.
That was me.
Whoa.
Was that
I
you?
touched the
Oh my
mic
God,
too much.
everything's falling
I get
apart.
crunchy. I
Are
get-
we ready for me?
All right.
My worst date ever. We were going on a date, but I was dating the person. Does this count?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't even know I was on a date. If
Yeah,
that counts,
true,
I think
that's
yours
And I
counts.
wasn't.
You weren't even on a date, so great. Okay, we were going out to eat. This is a high school boyfriend. He is a car guy. Probably still a car guy, right?
Ugh.
Sorry,
Ugh.
getting car guys.
Sorry,
listen to the
car
show.
guys. We
Maybe
love
we lost every car
Subaru.
guy just now.
Damn it, that's half our audience.
This episode is sponsored by Subaru.
Um,
WRX.
What is my problem? I have way too much coffee and no food in my system, and I'm about to float to the ceiling. Okay.
Everybody's
So-
like, they're drunk.
Car guy. He always did stupid things like driving, whatever. We were going to, I don't know, probably like Applebee's or something.
Subway.
Probably picking up like Cane's or something, okay? And he's driving really fast, and a cop turns on his lights and starts like, we're in a chase, okay?
What?
So he actually ran, I'm trying not to say his name. He ran a red light. Okay, I'm in the passenger seat, just he and I in the car. He ran the red light because the cop turned the lights on, and the cop was stuck at the light, but of course he's going to go through the light. So he's flying through the outskirts of like Stringtown Road, Grove City. He's like, we're going to go hide in Sears. We're going to park at Sears. Again, he's driving like a racer. Like, there's no way that this cop doesn't already have like his information pulled up and stuff. So our date ended up being us walking around Sears for like 2 hours, okay? 2 hours.
Wow.
I'm so young. I'm like 16. We get out of Sears. The cop is just like standing at his car, just like, what's up, buddy?
Right.
As you would, because you can't get out of this. And the cop looks at me and he says, you go. So then I just was by myself.
At Sears?
At Sears. Luckily, he ended up letting him go, but first he was like, I'm going to put you in some handcuffs. He was like, you weren't wearing your seatbelt. And he was like, I was wearing my seatbelt. And he was like,
the shit out of him.
I'm going to write you up for everything possible if you don't take the seatbelt ticket.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wow.
so I was just aimlessly walking around Grove City, don't know what I'm doing. He eventually let him go, but I just remember being so young, and I remember him chasing, like the cop chasing the car.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Even as an adult, I don't have anything that's that exciting. Like,
And I've never been in a cop chase.
Yeah.
Have I been in any more cop chase? We got pulled over a lot because he always had like 2 tinted windows. He was always driving too fast. Like, we got pulled over so much.
Yeah, Fast and Furious boyfriend.
God bless him.
One time Nick got pulled over for doing a U-turn, and the cop pulls him over and he goes, do you know why I pulled you over? And he goes, no. And I was like,
No idea.
what? I'm like, he watched you. He watched you do it, and you're going to play dumb. But you know what? He gets away with everything because he has his muscle car, and he has his NRA thing on the back, and they pull him over, and they go, how fast can this thing go? What are you carrying?
Oh,
and they just, like, have, like, this, like, bro out time. And I'm like, I'm late to a funeral, and they're like, $200.
And they're like,
Yeah,
oh, you were in the car, $200.
Huh. Looks like it's your fault.
All right, whose turn is it to pull
I
a
think
card?
it's
I
Ross's
think it's
turn.
me. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
You hate it?
I don't know if that's I don't know. I don't think it's a good one.
It doesn't spark joy.
That one's also sort of a dud.
Well, this game's about to end.
We need
3,
more
4,
cards.
5, 6. We got some cards.
I don't know if this one
Let me see.
works.
Let me see.
Does this one work?
I'm not into it.
I'll go get the other deck of cards if we need to.
Oh, this one's upside down.
Read it.
This is fine.
Read it anyway.
It's not super deep or cool, but like it'll work. What part of your job energizes you the most, and what part leaves you drained the most? And let's do this as job and life. Let's do that.
Job
Let's do
and life?
Job and life.
Okay.
And or. Let's
Okay.
do that.
Well, you pick
Oh
the
yeah,
card.
and
Go.
that means it's my cue to
You
answer.
go first.
Energizes me the most. I mean, creating is just fun in general, but for me, I think it is realistically just getting to connect with people, making actual connections with people, and sure, like taking cool photos, cool videos, like whatever it is. I don't know. That's like the byproduct. For me, the energizing part is the fact that I get to connect with people over tons of different things. And most of my life is built around me getting to spend like actual genuine quality time with people, getting to know why they do the things that they do and why they want to do whatever it is that we're doing. And just like who they are in general. So that absolutely, like, I know that is a absolute cup filler for me that gives me energy. Like when I am feeling down or sad, I will purposely schedule a meeting with somebody so I can talk to them, and we'll just talk about stuff, and then I literally leave being like I am energized after that, and I literally feel better.
And what about draining? What's the thing that drains
Draining
you about
part-
your job or life?
It's hard because I feel like I've worked on trying to eliminate those things. So
So what in life? Because that's not something that I feel there's got to be something. We're always it's always the balance.
I feel like it might be
Editing.
if we were getting really specific. What drains me the most is maybe trying to make sure I slow down. Or wait, no, does that make sense?
No, it does not.
I think the balance is what I'm trying to
Okay.
say.
Like it can get overwhelming to make sure you also have time for yourself.
Yes, the draining part is like I love going 100 miles an hour, but remembering like, hey, wait, that could drain you.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
you don't take time for yourself, if you don't slow down a little bit. But
Burnout.
again, like it is the burnout. But I'm not gonna lie, like that is something that like, if this were 4 years ago, I'd be like, I don't fucking know, like that is, I'm burnt out all the time. Now I've kind of got that under control, if I'm being honest. Like I really do. So
We get it. You're really good at life.
Yeah.
no, that's not what I mean. I've just like I've been hyper focused for a couple years on like trying to
Well, you've been doing this
eliminate
for a while.
eliminate as much of those.
You've
like,
been
That's good, though,
You've
that the
been
draining thing is,
questioning
like,
how
small.
to get rid of these things that people don't want in their life for a long time. So it's okay that you have succeeded in that.
Yeah. I think, but it's the balance, if anything, is the draining part. It's just like making sure.
Brittany, what energizes you in life and such?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
Got it. Sure. Got it.
I just quit my job, so
You did.
but
That's
I love
pretty
my job at the
energizing.
same time. I will say making time. The thing that drains me. I'm going to start there. Making time for everyone. And them. I never want to go into detail, even though I have on this podcast 7 times, about how hard it is to fit everyone in.
Yeah.
And to also have time for myself. I never want to be like, yes, I will make time for you, but just know I'm not going to be good company because you're the 10th person I've seen today.
Mm-hmm.
And I've slept for 3 hours this week or whatever it is. Just making sure that like I give a piece of myself to everyone that deserves it. I don't always have that in me. So that's very draining.
Yeah.
However, on the flip side, the creative stuff does really fill my cup. Being with my friends does fill my cup when I'm there, when I'm in it. It's so hard. I'm always afraid to feel resentment towards people I love when they're like, hey, I miss you. I want to see you. And I'm like, you have no idea
What
that
kind
I'm,
of day
I'm,
I've
ju- I'm
had.
juggling X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I don't have time, but I'm going to tell you, of course, because I love you and I'm a people pleaser and I will have fun when I do see you. But so that part's just draining. It's like a mental thing where I'm just like, I wish I don't ever want to put my load on anyone.
Yeah.
And everyone is so cool. They're always like, I know you do so much, whatever. But I always feel like it's more than people see. And I'm always afraid, like, I don't need the credit for what I'm doing. I just need the, what's
Like
the word?
acknowledgement or understanding.
The understanding. There's a different word I'm looking for. I don't ever even need people to say. I just need them to be like, when you have the time,
Yes.
when you have the spoons, when you want to see me, I am available. This is whatever. It's always like, are you available on this day? Can you do this thing or whatever? And I'm not, and it's not every time I'm like, fuck, Ross is texting me again. I love all my friends. Sorry, Ross. You're just right here.
Oh, okay. That's, yeah. Just so happened to be.
He's like, oh, okay.
What energizes you and makes you feel like it helps fill up your cup?
I think when the hangout is quality, because I think
Okay.
sometimes I'm like, yeah, I could sit on my couch, whatever by myself, or I could go do this thing. And if the hangout is quality, there's good conversation or there's a fun thing happening or whatever, I feel so much better.
Yeah. Because you I don't want to say donated your time, but you put part of
And it was worth it.
Yes, you put part of yourself out there in order to make that happen. And there are times when like sometimes we feel obligated to do things just because like we're friends with people, and then it does drain us because it's an experience that's just like you're doing stuff that doesn't fill up your cup.
Yeah.
But if it is an experience where it's like, oh, I like had like a really good talk with this person, or I like gained something out of this experience because I like did this thing that was really fun, I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
And honestly, like bottom line is just that I'm just chronically tired all the time.
Yeah.
And so I have to be like pumped up to do anything.
yeah.
Because I would rather be sleeping. No matter how cool the thing is, my body wants to shut down at all times.
No, that makes sense. I feel like that's like
Except for right now, apparently. I'm like,
you should
Ready
just
to ascend.
always be running
yes.
on coffee.
I guess.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah. Leah.
Energizing. I guess if we're talking about like career wise, I get really excited about new projects. I get really excited when I get like inspiration photos from somebody about like a hair thing that they want to do or a hair journey that they want to start. And in the same like breath, it's like that's also so draining because I know what it's gonna take to get there. And
Yep.
sometimes like I spent 8.5 hours a week ago on this girl's hair, and it was like so awesome when it was done, and like she was happy with it and everything, but like I was so excited to get there and to do the thing. But when you're in it and actually like working on it, it's like you run into unexpected like snags
You're sitting
or just,
in
like,
anxiety hoping this turns out. I hope this turns out.
exactly. And then there's always this like thing like after the fact where I'm like, do you really love it though? Do I really love it?
That's why I
though?
stopped doing hair.
Yeah.
Because I was just never happy with it.
I am my own worst critic, I feel like, when it comes to hair. And people will literally be like, oh my God, it's exactly what I want.
It's
and
incredible.
I love
You're
it.
great at what you do.
Thank you. And I'm literally like, oh, I could have done this like one little other thing though. And I feel like it would have been like exactly, but I would have picked apart any other little aspect of it. Even if I had done that one little thing, there's always going to be something that I want to do better. And so I feel like it's exciting and energizing in that way where like I get to be creative and I get to like kind of figure out like how I'm going to make this thing happen, but then I'm also sort of drained in the process of making the thing happen because I'm standing on my feet for hours at a time, you know, trying to not only make conversation with this person and connect with them, but then also because that part's energizing, and I love being able to like chat with clients about like just, you know, shooting the shit or tell me your tea. I don't even care.
Love the tea.
I love client tea. Please, clients, I am here for your tea. Like, I like that your kid plays baseball and I'm excited for you to go to his game. But like, tell me about your mother-in-law and how she's like a crazy, just like crazy person. So yeah, the energizing stuff I definitely think is like from the inspiration, and then the draining stuff comes from like making it happen.
Yep.
That's fair.
Yep.
That makes sense.
I love it.
Okay, one more card for this episode.
Okay. Oh my God, it's really that time.
I know. All right,
Hurts
Leah,
my
what do we got?
feelings.
We got to make it good. Not feeling that one.
You can literally get your own cards this time, and I'm still like, here, Leah, here's your card.
I want to do it myself. That one's, I feel like that, I don't know. It doesn't apply to us really. I'm like, it's the last one, it has to be good.
We're going to get it.
This one's definitely like spicy, so I feel like maybe we should do this one.
Ooh, spicy. I like that. All right.
Has sex ever been a deal breaker in your past relationships? Explain.
Explain. Good thing you're starting, Leah.
So, I am the type of person that in relationships just throughout my life, I am not somebody that usually like gets into like the physical side of stuff very quickly. I need a lot of build up emotionally before I can get that way with people. Even if I'm physically attracted to them, the chemistry a lot of times comes from like building something. And I think a lot of that comes from like the foundation of like this idea that like, you know, our bodies are sacred and whatever. And so maybe that's like internalized something, but it's just how I've always been. And I remember being in a relationship with somebody that actually broke up with me because I like wouldn't put out within like a certain number of weeks or something when I was like still in the process of just like getting to know them as a human being. And obviously we were like kind of young and stupid. So I feel like that was like technically a deal breaker for them where like I wasn't, and I knew that that was something like they had told their friends that were also my friends, like, oh, if she doesn't, you know, put out by this time, I'm not going to stay with her. And so I was like, okay, I know this about you now apparently. So and I didn't know whether to believe the friends or to believe the boyfriend. And I was like, well, I'm definitely not doing it now.
I feel like if they knew, how else would they know?
Right.
You know?
Right. So, but that was definitely like kind of like where sex was like a deal breaker. But chemistry in general is so important. And I definitely like, I can recall specifically one person that I had really awesome like chats with, and like we were like really great on all levels. But like as soon as we like kissed for the first time, I was like, oh no, just like it was not there. So I that's not sex necessarily, but chemistry in general, I think, yeah, that was like a deal breaker for me, because I was like, if this is the person that I'm like super into and like even just kissing them just feels so wrong.
I've had that too.
Yeah, where I'm like,
see, I think that's like a girl thing, because we will be like, we're just not going to do it. Dudes are going to like gonna find out. They're going to be like, we're going to give it a try and see.
Yeah.
But like we know, and we're just going to like put a halt to it. But it's never been a deal breaker, but I've been with people that I've been like, that was a waste of time.
okay.
As far as it not supposed to be like romantically intimate, just like, this is what we're doing, and just being like, that was the only goal, and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
FWB.
Yes.
You have one job.
You have one job.
And if that job isn't like, you know, doing anything for anybody.
Because a lot of the time, dudes want to act like what they think sex is supposed to be, what they've seen in porn, what they've seen on like movies and stuff, and they don't. Every woman is different in what they want and
Of
what
course.
they like.
Every
and
person is different.
Every person, yeah. And if there's not communication about like what you're interested in, what or whatever, and it's just dudes trying to act like you're in a porno,
Not
that
gonna have a good
doesn't
time.
work. No, you can have so much fun, but like have communication and be on the same page, because like.
Yeah, it can go wrong real fast.
Especially because I'm so sorry, but like you're not a porn star.
No.
So
Yeah, no.
What about you, Ross?
Yeah.
Not about the porn life.
Tell us about the porn life.
Tell us about the
Ross
porn
is like,
life.
I actually am a porn star and I will divulge all my secrets now.
And my OnlyFans link is in the show notes.
Patreon.
In the
Yeah.
Patreon.
The Patreon.
In the
The
Patreon. You have to pay
is-
double.
Yeah, you have to pay to get the information, and then you have to pay to subscribe.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. So sex has never been a deal breaker. I can't say it's ever been a deal breaker. I do know, like, when I was younger, I was more focused on that. Like, when I had a
Sure.
girlfriend, it was the dude thing where I'm like, oh my God, like, what? Like, she doesn't want to have sex with me today, like, but we're together. Maybe she didn't want to have sex with me because I talk like that.
Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, like, as I've, like, over the years as I've gotten older and matured and all this sort of stuff, like, it's honestly, like, it's weird because, like, physical touch in that sense is huge for me. Like, when I'm into somebody and when I'm with somebody, I am like, oh my gosh, I can't wait until we do this. And whenever you want to do this, let's do this.
The fact that you say let's do this, like you don't say that 20 times a day, but now it's specifically you're using the same lingo. Let's do this.
Well, I'm not all of a sudden just going to be like, let's fuck.
I'm picturing Ross like in the bedroom
so
being
you
like,
are not a
I'm really
porn star."
enjoying this. In his like podcaster voice. Welcome to my
He's
bedroom.
actually doing wrestling moves.
Wow. Would subscribe to this. No, that is not what happens.
So when he finishes, he's like, so make sure you like and subscribe on your way out.
Like and subscribe. Leave what kind of review would you give this?
Yeah.
No, but when
A 5-star rating.
when I'm in a relationship, that is like, I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. I'm looking at it from like the romantic side
Yeah.
more than the physical side of like,
well,
'cause-
it builds chemistry. I mean, it's such an important part.
yeah, and that's like, it's such a, to me, and there's probably a whole other episode that we can do about this, but a little bit of the explanation right now is like, sex to me has sort of become, and honestly it's always been, but I didn't know how to identify or accept it as this. It's a really big like connection thing to
Yeah.
me. Even when there's just been like hookups in the past, I still like, I leave it and I'm like,
You don't do that. You don't do that. Ross doesn't do that.
oh,
No, never.
no.
He doesn't just show his chest hair to anyone.
You're not seeing me. But even when it's that, like, I find more often I'm like the one who feels like an emotion about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's been situations where the girl's like, oh yeah, cool.
That was fun. Have a good life.
And I'm like, have a good life? Like, what does that mean? Like, we're not,
Yeah.
like, I know we're not in a relationship and we don't need to be, but like, is everything cool? Like,
Yeah.
like, so I know that like my emotions are like way stronger in that sense. So that means when I'm with somebody, I'm like, oh my God, I fucking love you. Let's
Yeah.
do this.
Let's do
he was
this.
so scared. Let's do this.
I like that you embraced it though. that
Yeah,
you
you're
just
like,
said
you know
it.
what?
I'm just gonna embrace it
I
now.
am me.
No, I think it's very important.
Yeah, but it's never been a deal breaker. It's become a thing now where like truthfully, even like when I'm hanging out with a girl or like getting to know her, or even when I'm hanging out with a girl and I know underlyingly why we're hanging out, it's probably just to hook up. That is still on like the bottom of my list.
Yeah.
Honest. Even when I know it's like, oh no, this is probably like could happen for sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, I'll wait and find out.
Yeah.
Like, and then if nothing happens and then she texts me after and is like, so why didn't anything happen? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, I didn't know if you wanted to. Like, I'm not,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's never like the leading. So it's not a deal breaker in like any way. It's not even a deal breaker when I'm hanging out with a girl for a night. I'm not like, this has to happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
If
don't
it
know.
happens, it happens.
If it happens,
Yeah.
it happens. Cool.
No,
Like,
I
don't
think
know.
that that's a good, like some people, I think like the physical side of a relationship is like so important to certain people that I feel like if it's, I don't know, if it's not something that they can get past like, you know, I mean, we've all probably like had conversations with people that had like maybe a bad experience sexually with somebody that they really liked or really wanted to like or something like that, or even we may have had those kinds of you know, situations ourselves. But it's like, it's almost sad when you're like, I really want to like this person, but like the chemistry's not there.
I've definitely had that. But it's the chemistry, not just like the sexual. It's like all of it kind of. But sometimes it is that lets you know that the chemistry is not there. And that really is what that question is asking.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's definitely, even as a dude, and maybe this is just me, I don't know, but like, there's definitely been a lot of times for sure, like I've hung out with a girl and I'm like, oh, there's no chemistry here. So then I'm also like, I should not have that tie with them.
Right. Yeah.
Even though it would be cool, even though it would be fun, whatever. I'm like, I'm just going to try to
worth
find
it?
a way to avoid this because it's probably better left, you know, like undone, basically. Of just like, all right, yeah. So
Let's not do this.
Let's not do this. Can you unsubscribe from seeing me naked? Glad that we've just made me like a fucking like promotional robot of a human being.
Ross is like, I'm more than my work.
I'm sitting and I'm like, yeah, you know, like sex to me with like a girl is like such like a very like intimate thing. I don't really look at it just for the physical. And you guys are like, and then you tell her to subscribe to your jizz. Like, how fun.
We can't help it. It's who we are.
Subscribe to your jizz.
You said that. Leah said, 1 second, please. To your jizz.
Press that button.
Hit the fucking button, everybody.
It's not going to get any better than this.
This is Patreon shit, everybody.
Can't keep going this way. Honestly, same pod. That was the episode.
We can't go on like this.